had a hickey story time. Let me start out by saying that was back in the day when your girl was with the whole Tivity. Now I'm a changed woman. My man came to visit me from Colorado, so we was trying to make up for the lost time. And you know when you're young and the hormones just start going everywhere? So he left me a hickey on my neck. To make matters worse, it was the Lord's Day on a Sunday. So since I was rushing to get ready to go to church, instead of rubbing it off with some ice, I decided to cover it with a scarf in the middle of the summer. I for real thought they wouldn't notice, you know? So we went out to eat. Your girl was feeling a little bit hot, so I loosened it up. Mistake! I turned around for a second. I don't know where my mother got radiation eyesight, but she saw it, and she was like so far away too. She gave me that look of death. She was like, ¿Por qué? That's probably why I got whiplash, and then I got grounded.
I kicked out my pregnant daughter from my home. Get ready with me, anonymous story time. I have a daughter who is 27 years old and she has 6 kids and 3 baby daddies. She receives child support from 2 of the fathers, and the third one she is currently still with, and I believe they've been together for 5 years. My daughter currently works part-time and her husband is a full-time chef. They moved in with us about a year and a half ago because they got evicted from their last home. My daughter and her family does have 2 of the upstairs rooms in the house, but the thing is, it's still not enough for 6 children and 2 parents. The issue here is my husband and I don't ask them for rent, and they still constantly ask for help, meaning they need help paying the phone bill and the car payment. And my husband and I intentionally do not ask for rent, that way they can save, but it just seems like they're not saving at all if they continue to ask for help. And I feel like not paying rent is just a huge relief on their end, so why can't you pay a phone bill? I have to put up with loud voices throughout all hours. I also wake up during different times so I can cater to my grandchildren, and I would never say no to my grandchildren because they are my babies, and I do believe family is extremely important. Personally, I didn't expect my daughter and her family to stay here for this long, especially because my husband and I had planned to remodel, but of course we had to put a pause. On Christmas Eve, my daughter gathered all of us into the living room and she announced she was having her 7th baby. Everyone in the house was happy, and of course I was too, but I felt a little bit more dread than happy. I felt this way because that would mean another child in the house and there's already no room. I looked over at my husband and I noticed that he just felt the same way as me, but we obviously wanted to hide it from my daughter because obviously I didn't want her to feel some type of way. Later that night, my husband and I had a discussion amongst ourselves. A couple of days later, we had a family dinner and my husband and I decided to bring it up and tell my daughter and her boyfriend that they had 2 months to move out. As much as I love my daughter and her kids as well as her boyfriend, I just could not tolerate having another child in this home. My daughter started crying and she told my husband and I that it is not fair how we are throwing her to the streets. I apologized to my daughter and I told her that I was sorry, especially because I know how tough it is for her, but the thing is, it was impossible to be living in these conditions. The crazy part about all of this is the fact that my daughter demanded to take me to court, and I told her if she were to take me to court, the court would literally only give her 30 days, so she's lucky that I'm even giving her 2 months to move out. But the fact that I did everything for you, now you're gonna throw it in my face. My daughter also made sure to emphasize how I was being selfish, and now her grandbabies no longer have a home to live in, so she also ended up making a Facebook account, and she made a little group and basically said that she's looking for a apartment or some sort of place to live because her parents don't give a damn about her and how they kicked her out, and basically all of these like sorry excuses to make her look like the victim. In my opinion, if my daughter and her boyfriend knew how to save, they wouldn't be in these conditions right now. And also too, I feel like it's very selfish of them to accuse me when all I did was help them. I feel like they became very comfortable in my house, which is why now they really don't know what to do. But I feel like 2 months is a perfect amount of time to give them an idea of what exactly they're going to do. Do you think I was in the wrong for kicking my daughter and her boyfriend out of my house, or do you think I made the correct decisions? What would you do if you were in my shoes?
Story time of how men have the audacity and literally the delusional state that they live in. Yesterday I went to my first ever event, like consciously made the choice to go alone to enjoy an event by myself because I had nobody to go with. And so I was already feeling like really anxious about it, really nervous. I'm in a new space. I don't know anyone. I'm there to like vibe out, listen to music, dance. And so I went to the event. Everything was going really, really great. We're about like an hour in, you know, I'm just like dancing by myself. And I notice this guy is watching me the entire time. So I pretty much go to the other side of the room and then I have to pass by him again to go get my water. So when I'm making my way across the room, I just see like a hand come out and almost like block me from being able to continue forward. So I like look to my side and I put my hand out and I literally go like this. So this is a dancing event. And immediately I'm thinking this person's gonna ask me to dance and I really don't want to dance with anyone, let alone men. But no, he does something much worse. He looks into my eyes and gently goes down and gives me the most seductive kiss on my hand and looks up at me, like expecting me to be just like so wooed and so swooned and so seduced. There was a lady who was passing by that same exact moment, and when I looked up, we literally locked eyes and we did a smile to each other that only women would know. It's a very like, we're smiling to be nice, we're smiling to not make this awkward. But I sense that that was very much unwarranted. It's literally the look that only women will understand, and men are going to read that, interpret that as, oh, she loved it. Like, no, the alarms are going off in my brain that you are an unsafe, delusional person. And immediately that felt so incredibly violating, like I just walked away. It was just so infuriating to me to notice how someone can have the audacity to go from zero to physical touch. No rapport built, no connection. I'm not dancing next to you, I'm not gravitating towards you, I'm not looking at you, I'm not smiling at you. And not even as someone going zero to physical touch, you're literally giving a kiss on my body that is so unwarranted. I was like so irritated. I went to go wash my hands because I just wanted to physically take off his touch off my body that I couldn't like shake off. And it's like, yes, it's a kiss on the hand, but whether it's a kiss on my forehead, on my collarbone, on my shoulder, on my hand, it's still somewhere on my body that's so unwarranted. So I went to go wash my hands and I came out of the bathroom, which is pretty much outside of the dance space. And when I walked in, he's right there, right by the door. And I didn't even notice him. Again, I get stopped and I turn and I'm like, kill me. And he's like, hey, like, what's your name? Like, trying to make conversation. And I just like say my name. He says his name. And then he's just like staring at me, like just like gazing into my soul. And I'm like, surely you have more. Surely you've had at this point an hour and a half to come up with something. And I'm like, all right, see you around. I literally walk away like it just baffles me how men think that these kind of things are like chivalrous and romantic. It's such a beautiful gesture when it's not something that was called for. Like the fact that you don't know consent for something as small as kissing someone's hand is a huge, incredible turnoff, and it makes you incredibly unsafe. Anyways, it ruined my night. The place is supposed to be a spiritual, like healing, safe space. They're very, very big on consent. You can't even dance with someone unless someone is literally giving you a very active yes with their body language, eye contact, and like verbal cues. So it's like, buddy, my buddy in Christ, what are you doing in here? What are you doing in here?